being able to honest to you. But for me, being a good athlete at a young age, but being small, I knew that, you know, I wasn't going to be a big person ever. I don't have any big people in my family. So in order for me to excel at sports, I knew that very quickly, I knew that lifting and eating were going to be two main components of it. I come from an Italian family where, you know, we don't talk, we eat. That's most of our, that's our lifestyle. That's what I grew up with, you know. And we pacify fights with food, we pacify good things with food. That's just what we did, okay? So for me, it was very, very early on, I knew that there was a nutrition component, pretty much at these guys' age, you know, 12, 13, 14 years old, I knew there was a nutrition component that I had to incorporate. Now, at that age, there wasn't the science that there is today. We didn't know enough about the body to know the difference between different types of carbohydrates and all that fun stuff that we're going to touch upon tonight. But I knew, the first thing I knew was that I needed to eat more protein. That was the main thing that was mainstream back in the early, mid-80s and early 90s when I started this, okay? But it was the bodybuilding lifestyle that helped me become not only a better athlete, but it opened many, many doors for me as far as what I could achieve, what I couldn't achieve, okay? I wanted to be a football player. I told my dad when I was 12 years old I was going to play in the NFL. He told me I wouldn't. He was right. But it didn't stop as a dream for me, okay? I worked out diligently, very hard, through my young teens and late teens so that I could get a scholarship to play football in college. And I did. So I tell him all the time, although I didn't play in the NFL, I saved him about $100,000 because he didn't play for college. And that's what lifting weights did for me. That's an actual fact. You know, I'm 5'6". I'm the same height as I was when I was like in junior high. It just didn't. I never grew, but I grew physically to be stronger. All right, and it became a great attribute to my game. Okay. When I got to college, I was about 165 pounds, which you know, 5'6" isn't too bad, but when you're blocking defensive ends that are 260 and 270, that doesn't really cut it. We used to buck up to hit this one particular guy, like because he hit you so hard you'd fly back like 10 feet, you know. And shortly there into my career in football, where I was like a fifth string, you know, guy that carried the water, I was like, I don't want to do this, you know. Scholarship, no scholarship, doesn't matter. I don't want to do this. I got to do it. So that was the time where I really learned, like, I got to put on weight, you know. And I went to our trainers and our coaches, and I just said, you know, what do I have to do? You know, they put us on what they call training tables. Well, if you've never done training tables before, ever heard the horror stories of training tables, you basically sit there with a trainer or a coach, and they watch you eat. And they basically like make you eat. It's like force feeding. And I basically went from there to about 202 pounds. And my nickname in college was Box, because I looked like a box. And but I didn't like it. I didn't like the way it looked. Like, yeah, maybe it correlated to football, and I wasn't getting knocked over as much anymore. But you know, to me, I was like, all right, Arnold doesn't look like this. Like, there's no definition. There's no. That's when I really started diving into. At 19, basically, was when I started diving into the nutrition component, and I decided, you know, that I was going to bring back that bodybuilding part into my lifestyle. Not just lifting to be big and strong, but lifting to be athletic, you know. And I didn't really have a ton of help in that. A lot of the stuff I did on my own. I researched it, and it's basically what I went to one of my trainers, and they said, you know, hey, you're pretty decent build. You should try doing bodybuilding. And I was like, yeah, that'd be fun. You know, what the heck. So I did my first bodybuilding show when I was 19, and I got killed. I didn't know what I was doing, but for the first time in my life, I was lean. I was really lean and muscular, and what happened to my football game was I went from a fifth string guy on the depth chart, like if 18 people got hurt, I got to play, to starting that next year. So I never, once I got it, I was like, forget this, I'm never going back, and it all goes back to bodybuilding. Once I took the nutrition component and put it in with my strength training, it changed everything as an athlete. You know what, you're probably sad overnight, like it was anything, and you get up the next day and did it. Let's do this. And like I told her the other day, I said, if you don't move it, you fix the swing towel strong from all stuff.
Oh, there's an easy fix to that, but you guys have color towels? Yeah.
White towel.
Alright, so this is
You put bleach on, they come out strong. You know what I'll do? I'll wipe the shoe and it'll come out strong.
So what you gonna do?
Nothing really like that in the morning.
I know.
Like your face, right?
It's gross and it
Smells
smells
all day long.
Yeah, it's gross. Yeah.
Smell like a dirty bum.
Go like this, and then you're gonna switch.
I like the one dog smells better.
You see I'm only coming about
My dog's right.
Yes. Say what?
This is gonna be,
Boys want coming today?
yeah, but you wanna snap it out.
Just once.
Muscle here. Okay, so try that out.
No, usually they go like in the dirty water.
What you're gonna do, stand a little closer to it. Okay, so this is gonna stay right like that.
Put the
Think of
squatting
it.
movement over there.
Okay, so that's gonna stay like that.
Okay, you know now because it's all gone.
Right there.
I was like tiptoeing. She wasn't answering me directly, so I just was
Obviously.
It's like a right angle.
I know. Oh, that's what I thought.
That's
So
the
I
right
did.
angle.
Well, actually, you're not. I don't think. We good?
You're good.
Okay. So I want to thank everybody for coming tonight. This is it's an exciting opportunity for us at Evolution. Something I'm very passionate about, and actually, Joey back there, wave, say hi to everybody. All right, my man Trey over here. This is how this whole thing started. I saw these two guys come into my gym. The guys 14, right? And man, they just piss me off every day. I'm like, they don't know what they're doing. They're messing around, And then I started thinking about like how I got started. And I was their age, and I went to a club, and I'm sure there were guys that were my age now, and I pissed them off because I didn't know what I was doing. So I went to the owner of the club, and I said, teach me everything. I will do whatever you ask me to do, whatever you tell me to do. And from that point on, he took me under his wing, and here I am, 2 clubs and bodybuilding and football and all that fun stuff later. So what I wanted to try to do was introduce bodybuilding as it is and what it can be into people's lives. All right. A lot of people, and Danny, we were just chatting about this, and most people have a stigma when it's attached to bodybuilding. All right. I mean, how many people have seen the Planet Fitness ad? Everything's up and everything's down, right? That's what bodybuilding is to Americans. That's what they think it is. Okay. And I want to try to change that culture. Okay. I want to change the thought process of what bodybuilding is. We were sitting in a meeting the other day, and I said to Kayla, I said, hey, let me ask you an honest question. Like, do you want to have a six-pack? Do you want to see your abs? And she's like, yeah, of course I do. And I said, that's bodybuilding. Whether you want to gain weight, whether you want to lose weight, whether you're an athlete, okay, if you want to change your body, that's bodybuilding, okay? So each one of you that's in here training, okay, trying to make changes to your body, whether it's lifestyle changes, whether it's sports, and you younger guys for sports, okay, or whether you're just trying to like get jacked for the chicks, like my guys over here, right? All right. The reality of it is it's bodybuilding, okay. So what we want to do is we want to educate, we want to learn here, okay, and that's what this club is about. Every month we're going to do seminars that are going to teach you guys different aspects of the bodybuilding lifestyle. It has nothing to do with getting on stage. It has nothing to do with, wearing posing trunks or all that fun stuff that goes along with our subculture, okay? It has to do with being educated so that you can help and educate others of what bodybuilding is and what it can do for them, okay? So I thought I would start tonight, just give you guys an overview. I told you a little bit about how I got started. I was 13 years old. I don't remember who I told the other day, but basically I snuck into the movie Predator because I wanted to see Arnold Schwarzenegger's arms. And that's what did it for me. I saw that movie and I was hooked. I said I want to look like that. And So the arms came in, but the height didn't. I was like Danny DeVito, you know, a little bit shorter, but that's how I got hooked to it, and I think, you know, it's great when you have people that enter your life and they can
Let's do that.
What do I do?
Do this. You have little alligator arms. Now, just curl.
Right here.
Hey, look at
Feet down,
that.
right in the center of your feet. Okay, now, what
Mom
I'm
kind
gonna
of
do
does that
is
too.
bring one up at a time.
What do I
Bring your
do?
feet
You
up
guys are
about
like-
6 inches.
What do I do wrong? Why don't you tell me that?
Okay, so just keep doing this
Yep.
like this?
And do 15 on each.
My shirt's wrong.